So now we are going to create our pagination link, as because the user is not going to add the counting to this search query parameter to page. So first of all, we have to calculate the total number of posts which we got in our table of admin underscore panel. Then we can divide the total number of posts according to every single page. So back to my editor, right at the end of this main area, I'm gonna add one PHP scope here. So first of all, we are going to find out how many posts we got in our database. So I'm gonna add one variable of query pagination here, and this variable will be equal to our query, but we also have to grab our database connection from the global scope, and that is connecting db. Now here in the query pagination, first of all we need to calculate the total number of posts which we got in our table of admin underscore panel. So select by using the count function of SQL, select static in the parentheses from my table of admin underscore panel. Then simply on the next line, you know the drill, we are going to execute this query. So I'm gonna call this execute to be execute pagination, and will be equal to mysql underscore query, passing this query of pagination. Then on the next line, we are going to add one more variable here, and we are going to call this variable to be row pagination, and now fetching all the information according to this query by using mysql fetch underscore array, and now passing the execute pagination. Now as we don't have to use the while loop, so instead of while loop we can use the array shift function to avoid error and fetch all the results. So I'm gonna add array shift function here, and we are going to apply it on row pagination, and let's also equal this variable with one more variable, and I'm gonna call this variable to be total posts. Now first let's see how many posts we got by just echo this variable of total posts. Now if I save this one, if I just refresh this page blog.php, now here at the end you can see we got 30 here, and in the admin dashboard you can also see that we got the 30 posts. So now we calculated how many posts we got in our database. So now we are good to create pagination according to these 30 posts. So back to my editor, I'm gonna add right after here, I'm gonna add here one variable to be post per page, and this variable will be able to divide our total post with 5. Why I choose the 5? Because if I can show you real quick, on the upper code when we made our pagination, we worked according to 5 posts per page. So we are showing posts from 0 to 5, then we are showing posts from 5 to 10, then we are showing posts from 10 to 15 according to this algorithm. Now for creating the links according to this algorithm, we also have to take this thing in mind that we made our algorithm according to 5. So we are dividing the total post with 5. So if I real quick just echo this variable of post per page, saving this one, refreshing the page, you can see we got first 30, then we got the 6. So what if we got post, instead of exact number, if we got the post to be 31? So if I add one more post here, browse some image to this post, give it some content, add new post. If I go back on dashboard.php, you can see we got 31 posts total. This is our post which we just created, and if I just refresh this page, you can see we got 31, then we got 6.2. So we have to be certain according to this number of 6.2, because this number of 6 is going to help us create the links. So if we have 30 posts, it means that we will have 6 links. So if you multiply 6 with 5, then 6 multiplied by 5 will be 30, and every single page will have 5 posts. So 6 pages will have total 30 posts. So in case if we got the 31 post, so we need to take care, because we cannot create 6.2 pages. We can create 6 pages or 7 pages. So we need to take the ceiling of this variable of post per page, so that we can create one more page in case if we got the 31st post, one more post. So I'm gonna add the ceiling function on this variable of post per page, and on the next line we are just echo this variable of post per page. So if I save this one, refreshing the page, now you can see we got the 7 pages. So if you can divide the 7 according to 5 posts per page, so we will have the 6th page with 5 posts, and 1 page means our 7th page with 1 post only. So let's comment these echo, because we don't need these echo anymore. So now we are going to create our pagination according to this variable of post per page. So for that we can add one for loop here. For the for loop index, I'm gonna choose the famous variable of I. So we will be starting our pages from the 1, then our pages will be less than or equal to this post per page. So for I is equal to 1 and I less than or equal to post per page, and incrementing this I for every single time. Now starting off this for loop, removing the ending from here, and now here I'm gonna add one anchor tag, and inside this anchor tag we are going to give it address. So the address will be blog.php page, and the search key parameter to be the page 1. Then inside the PHP scope we can echo this variable of I, then closing of our anchor tag, and for the content I'm gonna add one PHP scope here, and inside it I'm gonna also echo this variable of I. Now saving this one, first we counted total number of posts, then we divide the post according to our formula, and we took the ceiling value. Then on the next step we created one loop which is starting from the first 1th index, and we made this loop to run until you meet the 7th page, then we are just incrementing in our this loop until this condition is satisfied. And on the next line I added one anchor tag so that we could have the links, and I just echo this I for every single time, and for the content I'm just showing 1 2 3 4 5. Now we need to close the ending of this for loop, so adding one more PHP scope here and adding the ending of this for loop. Now saving this one, if I refresh the page, you can see we got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and if I hover on it, you can see we got page 1, page 2, page 3. We also have to add the equal sign here. Saving this one, refreshing the page, you can see we got the pagination here. Page is equal to 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. If I click on the page 1, you can see we successfully created our pagination, and these are the posts for the page 1. So if I click on the page 2, you can see we are on the page of page 2, and these are the posts for page 2. So these are the posts for page 6. We got 1 2 3 4 5 posts. If I click on the 7th page, you can see we got only one post, because we have total 31 posts. So if you divide the 30 with 5, then you will have the 6 pagination. But we don't have the 30, we have 31 post. That's why on the 7th page we are getting only one post. So finally we created this pagination. Now let me revise this lecture again. So we made the algorithm in our last lecture, and we made the algorithm to show the post from the 0 index to the next 5 for the first time, and show the post according to this algorithm when the page is not equal to 0 or less than 1. Then on this pagination, first of all we counted total number of posts, then we divided the post with the 5 to make it work according to our algorithm which we define up. Then we took the ceiling value so that we could take care in case if we got some point value by dividing the total number of posts. So we took the ceiling, then we just added one for loop which is going to run until we meet the ceiling, until we meet the pagination number. Now let's also change this variable to post pagination, because it will make much more sense and you won't confuse. So we divided our total post with 5 and we equal it with this variable of post pagination, and we took the ceiling value to avoid the problem in case if we are going to get the points value like we got when we have 31 posts. Then on the 126th line we added one loop which is going to run according to this number of post pagination, and on the next line I added one anchor tag which is working according to this loop. So in the next lecture we are going to style these list item a little bit more using Bootstrap.